Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. I did an intro for this video, but the video went a little off what it was going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this quick little spiel, and then I'm going to start at the previous intro so that we get some follow through. Now, I haven't looked at all the footage yet, so how this all goes together, I'm not real sure, but this is the video spanning Easter weekend. And it was finishing the build of the buildings as well as other various things in there. So there's food and stuff scattered in there as well. So it's a little bit of a Easter weekend video. It's Sunday morning now. Darryl's at church with some of the kids and stuff, and we're going to have a pretty lazy day because it's just, we're pretty pooped. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer at the beginning, that sort of little intro. I'll start the video, and this video starts from Friday morning, and then it'll scan across, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish up to show you everything. And then when I put it all together, I might have to come back and add a few bit more pieces. We'll see how we go. But yeah, enjoy. In Australia, it is Good Friday and it is about 6:30 in the morning, and we're getting an early start. Hopefully James will turn up within the next couple of hours and we can start getting work on that building. So I thought I might try and do a little bit of a day in the life as much as I can around everything that's going, and we'll see if it all goes back together. So last night I started some overnight bagel dough, so that's why I'm up so early, is to split this, boil it off and bake it so that I've got sandwich products and stuff to offer to James while he's here working. The plan is also to put a brisket on the smoker today, which will take the whole day. So I'm going to do the first shape of these, and then I'm going to trim the brisket and I'm going to get it on the smoker, and we will see how all that pans out. I did also want to try and get some dulce de leche made in the pressure canner to use for gifting with those hot cross buns tomorrow, so I'm going to see if I can manage that in amongst everything else today as well, but we'll see how we go. I'm up nice and early, so that's a good start, so we'll see how it goes. There was 3 of them up there. kitty cat. Alrighty, so it is Saturday morning, and my intent of doing footage throughout the day to do a bit of a, progress of the day didn't work. It never does for me. I have all these good intentions and I don't manage it because I just cannot film and be participating in the project at the same time. It's just not something I'm very good at. And when there's such limited people doing the project, then it's not like I can stand back and film while other people are doing it. So I've got a couple of photos and stuff, but not a whole lot. So I'll have shared what I did in the day. This morning started off, I got up nice and early. I crashed pretty early, sort of 8:30 last night. Got up nice and early and I made a triple batch of hot cross bun dough and put some condensed milk in the canner for trying to make dulce de leche. You can boil tins of condensed milk for 2.5-3 hours and you end up with caramel. So there's this thing floating around that you can put it in jars and you can pressure cook it for like 20 minutes and it does the same thing. So I've given that a go and we'll see how that works. But I wanted to show you the progress that we had made yesterday. So this room is basically completed. So we've got both skins of roof up the top there, so you can see the roofing overhanging there. All the internals done as well, so the internal ceiling. Now, unfortunately, because we had a bit of a delay in doing things, there's some marking on the ceiling, and what that is they're actually the plastic. Now, because they sat out in the sun, the plastic got hot, and it's really hard to peel off, and we tried to bribe the kids in between to pull it off, and they didn't. So it's going to be a job that we'll just have to do. So any bits that were exposed, there's a bit of dirt, a bit of that. There's one over here as well that's quite bad, which is unfortunate because this will be right where our bed is. But we'll just have to see, it's just the plastic that's dirty, so we'll just have to work on pulling that off. So we need to put the angle trims, we've got these white angle trims, have to go up the sides and across the top to pin everything in place, but we got all the windows in and everything else, and we're not putting a door on here, we'll just put the door trim in without the door because eventually it will be part of the inside of the house. So this one is all completely done and, you know, just pretty cool to have it done. So that one's done. Now we also did get to the point of putting the C channel up. Oh, sun hit there. The C channel up here for supporting the roof that's going to go between the two. So we had to lift it high enough that we'd have the 5-degree fall, which meant a little bit of jury rigging, but we're getting there. And then we will have these panels to go there as well. So the other building still is just a square. We are still, this is going to be the next project this morning. They've actually just headed into town because we didn't have any roofing screws for the roofing to go between the two buildings, so they've just headed into town. Mitre 10's open 8:30 to 11:30 today, which was lucky, so they've gone in to do that. Once they get back, I think the plan is to get all the walls up on this one, and then we'll start getting the ceiling panels in, and then we'll probably leave it there for the moment because Darryl can do the roof skin on his own just with me passing the panels up. So if we don't get to that, and then we'll try and get some of these panels up here between these two roofs, because I don't think Darryl and I will be able to do that on our own. I think we will need a third person to do that. So we will just see how we go. We've only got James for today, so we're just going to try and get as much done as we can. And if you see in the background there, James actually brought them a basketball hoop and some basketballs to keep them distracted while he was working. So the kids have been loving having that as well. So lots of progress, but still a fair bit to go. We will see how much we get done. It would be really nice to get it finished today, and I think a lot of the stuff that is now going to be a repeat job of stuff that we've already done, so it will take us a lot less time to get it done. But at the same time, we have limited time, and we'll just see how we go. At least that room's done, but without a door on it, it's not usable until this is sealed. So I'm not sure how we're going to go, but I'll keep you updated as I remember to throughout the day. All right, so Sunday morning, and James went home yesterday evening, but it was almost dark by the time he went home, and I was pooped, so I didn't want to come out here and do anything. So I put some photos up on Facebook, and of course this video is going to come out sort of out of order of the food prep and everything, because I wanted to show the building success, you know, the progress and stuff. So, but we'll all cope this month, I think. So the building's finished. So let me turn you around. All right, so this is from the back of the house. So we've got the two buildings now completely finished. So originally, last time I showed you, we only had this one. Let me move that cord out of the way. We only had this one with the walls up, and we were still figuring out how to do the ceiling. So we have figured out the ceiling. The ceiling is obviously there. I mentioned earlier in the video that we've got the plastic there, so I'm going to probably double up on some stuff, because over spans of days it's just really hard to, you know, to get there. And so the buildings came with sliding windows and screen, so that's really cool. And that's the view out to the bush out the sides of the building. So this one will be done on our room. So the other building we hadn't finished yet, and we now have. So this building is all done as well. We haven't put the frame on the door yet, actually, and we haven't put the windows in yet. So they're sitting here ready to be siliconed and attached in, but they haven't been put in yet. So this room is all done as well. There's still finishing touches. We have to screw the floorboards in and the edging and stuff. I think I mentioned that yesterday on when I was showing the last one that was finished. But this is the view from the front now. So from our driveway, we have the buildings. So the buildings come out 12 meters, the awning comes out 9. So we got the awning up. Now that was the big thing that we just weren't sure. Puppies, it's just me. We weren't sure how we were going to make it work, but we did. So we have C-channel on top of a steel joist for support for that end, and this end attaches to the ceiling. We've got a 5-degree fall, and they all just slot in together. And we still have a few attachment points to do. They're gaping a little bit in the middle there, which is just because it needs some screws in the middle of the roof. We've only screwed up both ends. So the next job is to pull all this down. So this was an external wall, and it was one of the walls that we built like when we first moved in. So it was very much a piecemeal, whatever we could find, figuring things out. We had issues with the windows leaking. So we've got these little plastic pieces siliconed in there to stop the sills from leaking. And we just had little awnings made out of the roofing iron. So there's a lot of mess here. So what we need to do is we need to do the finishing touches on, so it's supposed to rain on Wednesday, so we need to silicone all the way along. You can see there's a bit of daylight through some of the holes there. So we need to silicone all the way along the roof line where the C-channel is, and any little holes and stuff. And then make sure that this is all affixed properly. There's no gutter on the other side of the building yet, but we will get there. And then the next step is to pull all this walling down so that we can fill this gap here and get it sorted before then we will, excuse the old couch that's still sitting there, then we will frame off the ends here and get all this cleaned up. So we're going to get the gentleman that we got last time from Itchy's Construction in with the little bobcat to help us clean all of this mess up and create a path all the way around, because eventually I want a veranda that wraps all the way around. So when they cleared our property, this was sort of the point that they cleared it to, and they just left these piles of dirt, and then we've ended up putting other stuff on top and things like that. And we've got like all this cardboard is from the windows and doors and stuff, so we've just added to it over this weekend while we were constructing too. So we're going to get all the building materials sorted and piled up so that we know what we've got and where we can put them, and then we're going to get the dozer in to help us push all this away from the building and move the tree line back a little bit so that we can have a wraparound veranda there and have clear path to walk to the chicken pens, because that's the chicken pens there, for being able to transfer feed and stuff from out the front where the car is to the chicken pens easier and things like that. So we're going to have to go, we used to walk through here. So we need to have a path around the buildings, and all this needs to be cleared. So that's a progress thing to do as well. But we need to get all this off and discarded as well. We'll keep the roofing on, obviously, because we can use that for many things, but we'll get rid of all the earth wall insulation that's in the panels and stuff. It did us well for the 5 years that it was there, but we will get rid of it. So now this framing here, this wooden framing that you can see at the top there, that's actually just a big gap. So we will be able to open that. There is a door hidden behind this part of the wall and a door hidden behind that part of the wall. So once we take all this metal off, seal up the ends, we can open up both those doorways and that big cavity there. We won't have the doorways as a throughway because that will limit what we can use on the walls, but they will be open to allow for airflow. And then the plan is to get another little potbelly stove. We have to find one cheap first, and it will go at the end here so that the flue can go on a 45-degree angle out, because I don't want to put the flue through this roofing. So we're going to put it right at the end there, and then that way we'll have the little wood stove inside, little wood stove here, and it should heat all the way through to the bedrooms and everything as well. So that is the plan. Anyway, it's really hard to show when you're so close to it all, and it's so large. I think the bottom of the roof there ended up being the bottom of the roof ended up being 2930, which was the 25 centimeter fall that it required to hit 5 degrees for these roofs, or whatever it was. So it's 3 meters tall at that point. So the roof is really, really high, and it's like 3 meters. It's like 2950 or whatever at this side. So 2880, I think it was. Anyway, it's tall. So this space is just huge, and it will be absolutely amazing. There was considerable periods of time there where we had it half done, and it was sitting here waiting for James to come back, where I just wasn't sure that it was achievable. It didn't feel achievable. It felt like I'd spent all that money and all that time, and it wasn't going to ever hit completion. So it is so amazing to actually have it at this point now, where it actually feels doable. It actually feels like, yes, we're going to finish it, and yes, we're going to have this space, and we're going to do it before winter and all the rest of it. So it's pretty amazing. So today is a bit of a rest day, but it's supposed to rain on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, we're going to have to get some work done to at least just, get some stuff done. And then that rain will be a good way to make sure we can check that the roof seals well and that the water's running off appropriately and things like that before we start moving things in underneath where the roofs are as well. So that will be really good. We did have issues with a ladder that snapped as well. So we need to buy a new ladder. We've only got one at the moment, which makes it difficult for the pair of us to do things. We were lucky that when James was here, he brought a ladder as well, so we were able to use that for the platform between, but then we only have a step ladder because the other large ladder snapped. So we need to replace that ladder as well, and a few other bits and pieces as we go along. But I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty impressed with what we've done and the accomplishments we've made, and it feels like it was worth the money now, because it feels like it's within reach. So that's always nice. So I just wanted to bring you along and show you what we got done and how it's going. And it's exciting to even just have, I have to walk outside the house to come into this little section at the moment, but it's lovely and cool. And even for the moment, it's nice to have this little space, and I'm really looking forward to getting in the bedrooms and sorting it out. I will, people ask me all the time what they can buy the kids, as much as I don't, we don't need anything, we manage, but people always ask what they can buy the kids. And what I might do to add to the wish list is a few things that the kids are going to need for the new bedrooms. So Robin is a lady who watches, and she lives in Toowoomba, and she gifted us some king single ensemble bases for the girls' bedroom. So I don't have king single linen, so I'm going to buy them some mattresses. I've already got that worked out. We'll get them some mattresses for those beds, but they are going to need sheet sets and stuff. So I might have a look on Amazon and see if there's anything that they would like Sonnet's favorite colors, cyan and things like that. So I'll have a look and see if there's anything on there that they might like for their new bedrooms, so that when we can outfit the bedrooms, they have the chance to do that a little bit. And then as we sort out the boys, we might do the same for the boys. So the twins will be sharing one room, and Apollo and Kavik will be sharing the other room. So we'll rearrange them as needed as we move children around and sort that out and make it their own space. Because at the moment it's been so shared, it's been really hard for it to be their own space, which was fine when they were littler. And that's the whole thing. When we moved out here with this limited space, it was fine when they were tiny, because they were only 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, and 10 when we moved out here. And now they're, 8, 9, 9, 11, 13, and 16, or whatever it is. So as they've gotten older, it's really, the space has very much compressed with their gain of size. So it's going to be wonderful to have a little bit of space for us, to have a little bit of space from them at times will be just amazing. But also for them to have a little bit more space as well. Though we live on 20 acres and it's never, it doesn't snow. So it's never cold enough that they can't go out, and they have plenty of space here. They've got ninja lines, they've got all the chicken pens, they've got dogs and everything else. So it's not like they never had space, but it is awfully nice to have some indoor space that's going to be split up a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope this video works out once I get it all put together, and I will see you guys on the next one, and happy Easter to everyone.